Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving the 2025 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric Dodge Charger. This has been one of the most controversial cars to come out in the last several years. Dodge has removed the growling V8 and in its place put two nearly silent electric motors, building the first electric muscle car. And so that has stirred up quite the tizzy online, and I am here to set the record straight to see what this car is all about. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackbradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Last but not least, huge thank you to Ray Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Fox Lake, Illinois, for letting me borrow their Dodge Charger Daytona for today's video. They're absolutely wonderful. If you'd like to check out their inventory, you can do so in the description below. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, that is the big question mark. It comes with a 100.5 kilowatt hour battery pack, and the Scat Pack gets a little bit extra horsepower that I'll put up on the screen. Now, range-wise, it's good for about 241 miles, which isn't great in terms of an EV. Honestly, when I test EVs, I always say that the usable mileage is about half of what the sticker says. So, daily driving, 120 miles, you should be fine if you have a charger at home. It's not wonderful. As an EV, especially at this price point, it doesn't perform nearly as well or have as good of numbers as some of its competitors like the Hyundai Ioniq 5N and the Chevy Blazer EV-SS. However, it does make up for it slightly by being very fun to drive. All right, a quick little acceleration test. We are going uphill. You get that roller coaster feeling in your gut. Oh man. And now we're back into auto. It's quiet. It's quiet again. I love that. I love that. So because it is dual motor, it is also all-wheel drive. And here's the thing. Here's the honest truth. It's very fun to drive. It's very exciting. It's fun. I like it. Driving it around, it has put a smile on my face. I think people get this idea that it's just this awful, terrible machine, but it's not. It's really, really fun. And I honestly, truly believe that it does encapsulate the idea of American muscle. Does it have a throaty V8 under the hood? No, but the Grand National didn't have a V8 either. It looks mean, it looks killer, and it is fast. This Scat Pack is faster than any Scat Pack that came before it. So I think in that regard, it does a lot of things really well. I'm very excited to see this with the gasoline engine. I think that might be an even more fantastic car. But how does it feel to drive? First of all, this is a big car. This is actually bigger than the outgoing Challenger and Charger. And you definitely feel that. Now, you will notice that when we step into the back seat and realize that I actually fit back there, not to bury the lead, but this is a relatively big car. So keep that in mind if you are looking to get one. This isn't a nimble little sports car. It is a heavy muscle car. Visibility is not great, but it's a muscle car. It shouldn't be great. And ride quality is a little bit stiff, but again, it is a more performance-oriented car. This isn't going to float over bumps like the Wagoneer S or other offerings from Stellantis. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster. I really like this. I think it's clean and simple, definitely easier to look at than Toyota's current products, so I really like that. And you can switch it around. You get some really cool information, some cool graphics. When you switch pages, the two sort of Dodge lines come up, which I think is really, really cool to see that. And overall, I'm a big fan of the gauge cluster. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as our drive modes. So we have Sport, Track, Drag, Custom, Wet/Snow, and Auto. This will also change the exhaust notes. So if you notice, cut to the in-car, I am in Auto right now. It's a nice, seemingly quiet sound. But then if we put it into sport, you get a little bit more. And track, it's almost hard to talk over. I like that a lot. I really like the fake exhaust noises. What I don't like is that everyone outside the car can hear the fake exhaust noises. I wish that it was just for me, because I don't want to disturb anyone. I don't want to be that guy with the loud, obnoxious car. It's one thing to have a loud, obnoxious V8. You can't really help that. It's another thing to have a loud, obnoxious loudspeaker. This is like having a Bluetooth speaker on a public bus. No one else thinks that you're cool. So that's definitely something. Moving back to the steering wheel, we have our adaptive cruise off to the right and our power. Jesus, that scared me. We have the power shot. So let me hit it again. Punch throttle within 30 seconds to activate power shot. And that's what you saw me using earlier with the acceleration test. The steering wheel is flat bottom and flat top, and I actually really like the feeling of it. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent. We have our front release, headlight switches, and gauge dimmer switches. And moving on to the door, we have our power mirrors, power locks, power windows, as well as our memory seats. But the latch in and out is really down low. I don't really like this. You really have to kind of overextend your hand in order to fully reach it if you have smaller hands like me. Moving into the center, we do get our Daytona badge up on the dash and our infotainment. We have buttons, not physical buttons, but they're like touch buttons that are always there. Off to the left for the heated ventilated seats and the heated steering wheel. Love that they finally gave me a dedicated switch for these instead of burying them in the screen. We do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Here's the backup camera. Nothing too crazy beyond that. Then we do have some physical climate control buttons. Again, I like that they are starting to listen and put physical climate buttons in the vehicles. That is absolutely huge. Then we have our parking sensors off, lane keep assist, traction control, launch mode, and our 2 USB-Cs. Giant cubby and the shifter. The shifter has this giant grab handle-ish thing underneath it. The entire length of the shifter is the parking release or the button release, which is very, very strange, but kind of cool. It's this angled 70s style design. I actually quite like that. Then we have our power button to turn the vehicle on and off, and our power parking brake. Off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And I'm happy to report that the Dodge Charger Daytona actually passes the big friggin' bottle test. Look at that. Then we have a center console, USB-A, as well as a 12-volt outlet, and the seats. The seats are comfortable. They are a little bit higher bolstered. They're very, very sporty seats, which I love to see. And they are heated and ventilated, so I enjoy that quite a bit. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, now, this actually isn't my first time getting in the back of one of these. The CEO of Dodge, Matt McAllclear, actually brought one to an event, and I was able to talk to him. He's actually a really nice guy. Comes from a Chrysler background. I actually fit back here. So, long story short, I sat in one at that event, and I can sit. My head's a little bit squished, but this is my seating position. My knees aren't hitting the seat in front of me. My head, now that I'm slouched, isn't hitting the ceiling. This is actually a better back seat than my Mazda 3. I mean, for a two-door. I also have heated seats back here, 2 USB-Cs, 2 climate vents, and a center console with 2 cup holders. I mean, this is like really, truly just normal back seats, and you don't really expect that out of a coupe, and previous Challenger back seats were not good. So this is very nice to see. Let's hop out, because it actually is a hatchback technically, and we'll talk about the trunk and cargo space. Right around the back of the Dodge Charger Daytona, we'll come around here. There is this little button right here. That is for the rear trunk release. And it is technically a hatchback. So kind of interesting to see that giant opening on a Dodge Charger. Once we are back here, these are the floor mats. These will go in the car when the first owner purchases it. Nothing really too crazy back here besides that. We do have a pull up here for some storage and whatnot, and our firefighter cutoff switch over here. Other than that, nothing really too crazy. It's not super deep. I really wish that it would have been a little bit deeper, but that's okay. It's a Dodge Charger. It's not supposed to be the most accommodating vehicle in the world, so that's okay. However, I would have liked to have seen a power opening rear hatch for the money being spent. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I think that Dodge actually hit it out of the park with the looks of the Dodge Charger Daytona. I think it looks fantastic. It's very clearly a new generation of the Charger and Challenger, which honestly didn't look that new from when they came out in 2008. So I think this is a very healthy refresh. I think it looks good. One thing to note about the EV specifically is that because there isn't an engine up front, we actually get this really cool air fin, airflow type thing. Absolutely love seeing this, and that will be gone when they introduce the inline-6 combustion engine because, well, an engine has to go in there. So very cool feature that will only be found on the EV Chargers. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving the EV Charger? Again, one of the most debated, one of the hottest vehicles on the market today, and maybe not for the best reason. Well, I really like it. I really like it. Here's the thing. It is fun to drive. It's entertaining. It does fun, cool, interesting things. And in this EV space, it's really hard to find vehicles that feel fresh, different, and modern. At least in terms of their competition, every EV kind of drives the same. And so now to be driving this, it doesn't drive the same. And that's nice to see. The range isn't good. I will say that is a pretty significant downside to the Charger Daytona EV. I wish that it had more range. I think above 300 would have been acceptable, but it still falls 60 miles short of that. That, to me, is unacceptable. The other big issue is the price. This is stickered at $75,000, and for that money, you can buy vehicles like the Ioniq 5N that's gonna have more range, be thrilling to drive, and offer the same things that the Charger Daytona offers. The Kia EV6 GT, the Chevy Blazer SS EV. And so I think Dodge priced this way higher than they should have been. And I think that led to the downfall. However, I do want to say, although I was a little upset I wasn't invited to the original launch of this car, I'm happy to be reviewing it several months after its launch because these have been discounted significantly. This particular car from Ray Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Fox Lake has been discounted over $12,000 off that sticker. And they have a 2024 model that has been discounted over $20,000 off of the sticker. And so now this car starts to make a lot more sense. At that number, or at those numbers, you start to get down into the 50s, 40s. That starts to make sense. This vehicle makes a lot more sense at that price point. But it took the slow sales for Stellantis to realize that. And even then, it's left up to the dealers. These are the deals currently from Ray Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Your local dealer might be different. Your local dealer might offer more. Your local dealer might have different incentives. But here today, although this is a $75,000 car, you could take it home for $63,000. That's where it starts to make more sense. This isn't a bad car. It was mispositioned and misunderstood, but man, is it fun. It's fun to drive, it's cool, it's unique, and I like it. The world just doesn't. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ray Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Fox Lake, Illinois for letting me borrow the Charger EV for today's video. They have been absolutely wonderful. Please go browse their inventory. Like I said, all of these Dodge Chargers are marked down significantly. So now is the time to buy. If you want one, you will get some serious cash off, and I don't think you'll regret it. They are absolutely wonderful. Their link is down in the description below if you'd like to check out their inventory. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.